evening. This is All India Radio Kohima. I'm Navin Pradhan with the evening news, and these are the headlines. President Ramnath Kovind inaugurates All India Presiding Officers Conference in Gujarat. Says Indian democratic institutions are gaining more strength. Constitution Day to be celebrated across the country tomorrow. International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women being observed today. And Nagaland reports 60 fresh cases of COVID-19, taking the total number of affected persons to 10,991. The details. President Ramnath Kovind has said that the biggest challenge before the public representatives and democratic institutions is to meet the expectations of the public. Inaugurating the 80th All India Conference of Presiding Officers at Kevadia in Gujarat, he said, it is expected from the public representatives that they always remain honest towards the principles of democracy. He said the Indian institutions are gaining more strength at a time when democratic institutions are being questioned around the world. Stating that Indian ancient books have mentions of democratic values, the President said our founding fathers gave a final form to these sentiments in the Constitution. President Kovind expressed happiness that this conference is being held at the Statue of Unity, the world's tallest statue of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu in his address said that harmonious coordination between legislature, executive and judiciary is a key to a vibrant democracy. Lok Sabha Speaker and Chairman of this conference, Om Birla, called upon all participating presiding officers to think about the constitutional responsibility on Constitution Day. He also appealed to the presiding officers to take oath for fulfilling the targets set by our great leaders. The theme of this year's conference is Harmonious Coordination of Legislative, Executive and Judiciary, Key to a Vibrant Democracy. Constitution Day or Samvidhan Divas will be celebrated across the country tomorrow. The day is also known as National Law Day and commemorates the adoption of the Constitution in India. On 26th November in 1949, the Constituent Assembly of the country formally adopted the Constitution of India, which came into force on 26th January 1950. The Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment in the year 2015 notified the decision of the government to celebrate 26th November as Constitution Day. The day is celebrated to promote values of the Constitution among citizens. The day is also celebrated as a mark of tribute to India's first Law Minister, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who played a pivotal role in drafting the Constitution. On the occasion of the 75th Constitution Day tomorrow, Films Division of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting will be streaming 4 films on its website and YouTube channel. The films will be ranging from topics which include adoption of the Indian Constitution, its salient features, and life of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. The countries across the world are today observing International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, an initiative of the United Nations General Assembly. International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women is a global advocacy effort aimed at preventing and eliminating the instances of violence in all forms against women. As per the United Nations report, violence against women and girls is one of the most widespread human rights violations in the world. Instances of such violence largely go unreported and remain hidden because of the stigma surrounding it. The campaign aims to spread awareness about the issue. The theme for International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women this year is Orange the World, Fund, Respond, Prevent, Collect. The primary focus is on bridging the funding gap to ensure essential services for the survivors of violence during the ongoing pandemic. A 16-day campaign will be launched today, which will conclude on 10th of December, the International Human Rights Day. 60 fresh cases of COVID-19 positive have been recorded in Nagaland today, taking the total number of affected persons in the state to 10,991. Health Minister S. Pangnipom in a tweet said that Dimapur reported 35 cases, Kohima 21 and 2 each from Mon and Perin. The minister also added that 66 positive patients have recovered, of which 46 were from Dimapur, 19 in Kohima and 1 in Zunheboto. A total of 9,357 persons have recovered from the infection so far. The new cases reported today were segregated among 38 traced contacts, 12 armed forces and security personnel, 5 frontline workers and 2 returnees. Presently, there are 1,465 active cases, while 55 persons have succumbed to the infection. You are listening to the news from All India Radio, Kohima. Member of Nagaland Legislative Assembly Medo Yokha has been appointed as advisor to Chief Minister of Nagaland. The appointment made by the Chief Minister will come with immediate effect. TIPR report stated that the arrangement will help utilize the vast and practical experience of the member of Nagaland Legislative Assembly for the benefit of the public at large. The advisor will render his service on matters that are referred to him by the concerned department for their views or suggestions before the issue is put up to the concerned minister in charge for decision. Further, the advisor will not be eligible for any pay, salary, emoluments, remuneration, or any perks or advantages of any kind from the state government other than what is normally admissible to them as members of Nagaland Legislative Assembly through the Assembly Secretariat. Army Chief General Manoj Mukund Navarane today inaugurated a new residential facility at Kohima Orphanage and Destitute Home. This facility will be run by the Assam Rifles, which is always in the forefront in extending support to the functioning of Kohima Orphanage and Destitute Home and many other orphanages in the area. The facility will cater to the needs of 95 children, including 26 girls. 3 more villages under Tseminyu subdivision in Kohima district have been declared as tobacco-free villages. They are Ihunnu, Yikhanu and Siwanu villages. The declaration was announced today by Joint Director, Dental, State Nodal Officer of Nagaland Tobacco Control Program, Dr. C. Tetsio, during the District Level Coordination Committee quarterly review meeting held at Deputy Commissioner's Office, Kohima. While congratulating the 3 tobacco-free villages, Additional Deputy Commissioner Kohima, Lithrong Latong Birutsa, said, with this, a total of 11 villages have been declared tobacco-free under Kohima district. Dr. Tetsio informed that a survey will be conducted in the next 2 to 3 years based on the improvement of health and economy of the villages. Dr. Tetsio also handed over the certificates of tobacco-free villages to the representatives of the 3 villages. The government has approved 7 proposals of food processing projects worth over 234 crore rupees. It also includes grants in aid of 60.87 crore rupees in Meghalaya, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka and Maharashtra. Minister of Food Processing Industries Narendra Singh Tomar virtually chaired a Inter-Ministerial Approval Committee meeting yesterday. Proposals received under the Scheme for Creation of Infrastructure for Agro-Processing Cluster of Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana were considered. Ministry of Food Processing Industries in a statement said that these projects will leverage private investment of 173.81 crore rupees and are expected to generate employment for 7,750 persons. And as the nation fights COVID-19 pandemic, let us all remember to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, wash hands frequently with soap and water or use hand sanitizer, and follow social distancing norms. And to end the news, a reminder of the headlines. President Ramnath Kovind inaugurates All India Presiding Officers Conference in Gujarat, says Indian democratic institutions are gaining more strength. Constitution Day to be celebrated across the country tomorrow. International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women being observed today. And Nagaland reports 60 fresh cases of COVID-19, taking the total number of affected persons to 10,991. And that is all the news we have for you this evening. Good night.